Awesome. All right, guys. So I want to welcome everybody, Sarah, Gabby, Fanny, Christy, Maria, and Monica, our special guest tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, so basically, Monica, you guys, she is my coach, and she's been using Beachbody products for over 8 years. Her transformation story is very powerful. And I wanted her to share that with you because I have no doubt that you guys are going to get inspired by it. If possible, I'd love for you guys to turn on your videos so we can see your beautiful faces. Yay! There you go, Gabby. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and move it on, pass it on to you, Monica. So you can tell them a little bit about who you are and how Beachbody has helped you in general with your health, your
Totally.
energy.
Totally. Well, girls, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm really excited to talk to you guys. It's a privilege to be here tonight. And I got to tell you guys, first and foremost, you got a kick-ass coach. Like, Michi's amazing. Ever since she came into my life, she's been a huge light in my life. And I'm sure all of you guys can say the same. The fact that you're on here tonight and you're excited about your journey. So let me share a little bit about me, how I got here, what I've done the last 8 years when it comes to Beachbody, because I know for me, along the way, my 8 years, I never stopped listening to other stories because that's fuel to my fire. It just reminds me and keeps me motivated to keep doing it because my story's not over, and I'm constantly writing new chapters. And you may be in your chapter 1 right now, but know that it's a continuous book that you're writing as you go through this. But let me kick off with my name, Monica Lopez. I just turned 35 years old, so that's exciting. It's still weird to say 35. I am a mom of 3, so I've got my oldest who's about to be 13, so I want to hit my first teenager. And then I have my middle son, Jackson, who is turning 9, and then I have my daughter, Mia, who's turning 7. I started my workouts right after having my second child. And actually, I'm really into visuals. I made a little slideshow for you guys that I want to share with you so that you can see what it looked like when I first started 8 years ago. Where am I going? Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay. Can you guys see that? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can see that. Did it come out good? All right, so that's me in 2011 when I kicked off my journey. And before I go into who that woman was or that girl was, let me tell you about how I grew up and my history, because a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight, I want you to identify these things for yourself as you go into your fitness journey. Number 1, I grew up as a child pretty overweight. By the time I hit 6 years old, that's when all of a sudden I started packing on the weight as a child. I love food. I still love food. I still live for food. As I'm eating breakfast, I'm thinking about lunch and then dinner. I surround my life around food. And so when I was younger, there was nothing stopping me from going into the refrigerator. We didn't have that much food education in my home. My father loved to cook, so my mother also liked to cook. And so I just ate and ate and ate and ate with no boundaries whatsoever. And for me, I grew up really, on top of the fact that I was very overweight, I really had messed up teeth too. So I grew up teased and bullied over my weight, over my teeth, over my overall appearance. And it was something that hindered me in a very big way. Something that impacted me in a very big way. And I'm not saying in a bad way totally, because I can tell you that what I'm doing in my life today, had I not gone through that, I wouldn't understand the power of health and fitness in your life in general. Like in everything we do, it's important. But anyway, I'll go into that in a second. But that's the kind of, upbringing I had. Very shy, self-conscious. I was made fun of a lot, and I know that I can identify now my turning point in all of this. It was when I was about 13 years old, which is funny enough, my oldest's age, and I was in middle school, and I had to pick electives for school. And I remember that the year before that, I had picked dance class. And oh my gosh, guys, it was a nightmare to go into the locker room every day and change into those leotards and be like, I could tell when I was walking through the hallways getting to my dance room class, like people would like look at me and laugh or giggle or whisper. And it was just something that I was like, by the time I hit 7th grade, I'm like, I am not taking dance class. And you only had 2 options, dance class or weight training with mostly the boys. I picked weight training. I picked weight training because I just did not want to put on those leotards and have to change into that every single day in school. But that was a turning point for me, because in that weight training class, it was actually the football coach for the school that taught that class. And that's where at the age of 13, I got my hands on my first set of weights. And I understood what it was to weight train. And I understood what it was to make this like work for you. He also taught me how to eat, like just the basics on clean eating. And now I like fast forward, I realize what he taught me and instilled in me, because now with like 21 Day Fix and the portion containers and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, you know, it's the fundamentals. And so I learned this at the age of 13, guys. And by the time I remember I had my first job, it was at Eckerd's. I don't know, does anybody remember what Eckerd's? Which is now like CVS, I think it is. Well, back then, Eckerd's, I got my very first job there. And every single penny that I earned working my after school job, I used to use it to get a gym membership. And I didn't have a car. I used to take the bus all the way down to the gym, get off, do my workout. I mean, my workout was like a 4-hour ordeal between the commute at the age of like 14, 15, because I just wanted it so bad. I never wanted to let go of that feeling of being in control, because I learned it. But then here's what happened. Fast forward, met my husband, and I didn't have, you know, I was in amazing shape when I met my husband, and we got together pretty young. I was about 18 years old when I met him. By the time I was 19, turning 20, I got pregnant with our first son. And or 20, turning 21, I got pregnant with my son. And this is where all of a sudden, like, everything came back. Like the flood of memories came back of, like, you know, my weight not being in my control anymore. I forget eating for 2. I think I ate for 20 in my very first pregnancy. I was at like 115 pounds going into that pregnancy, and I walked out weighing more than my husband. I remember getting on the scale and I was almost hitting 190. I packed on the pounds, and I did not take care of myself whatsoever. And by the time I had my 10-pound baby at 37 weeks, it was like a 10-pounder. There was a lot of damage done. In my tummy, I ended up with diastasis recti, which is like when your abs are like this. When you have a baby, they kind of spread out. And then what's supposed to happen is when you finish having the baby's out, your abs are supposed to come back this way. Some of us women, we end up coming back this way with a big gap in the middle. And that just creates a poochy look. It creates like this saggy skin look, and so on and so forth. That was me. That's how I ended up. And at 21 years old, guys, I felt ruined. Like, I was seeing my friends first of all, weren't even dealing with being in a marriage, having a home, having a kid. They were out still living with their parents, out clubbing, out at the beach, you know, on the weekdays, you know, taking their college classes in between. And I was just living a completely different life. And I downward spiraled into a massive depression right after my first child. Because I just felt, and I started with just feeling ruined, like looking in the mirror every day and hating what I look like. This picture that you see in front of me, this is actually after my second child, which I actually did a little bit better on that pregnancy, but still you can see the postpartum, you know, that pouchy look, the flaws and all that kind of stuff. And this was well after having him. It wasn't immediately after. After that first pregnancy, guys, I lost the weight because I was petrified of going back to the old me, but I did it in the most desperate, embarrassing ways. In fact, one time, there was a time where I even passed out from the things that I did. And I'll tell you what I did. It's embarrassing, really. I drank laxatives. I used to be on this like cookie diet. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the cookie diet, like where you eat 500 calories and you're eating like these cardboard cookies. And it's done by a doctor, but it was the most terrible thing ever. I did these pills where apparently you drink the pill and it takes all the fat out of your body when you go to the toilet. Horrific. Like, I just did the stupidest of stupidest things, and I was, again, miserable. Now you're talking about a woman walking around with her first child in this brand new marriage, and she's cranky, she's miserable, she's not happy. She was, you know, and she was just doing all of this, trying to feel like look good on the outside, but feeling terrible on the inside. Well, that brings us to this picture. Fast forward to my second child. I got pregnant again. I did a little bit better on that pregnancy. And it was when I gave birth to that baby that I met my coach, right? I had just gave birth to him. I had started a new job. She was the attorney at the office. I was a paralegal in my past life. And it was her that introduced me to Beachbody. And it changed everything for me. Now it all of a sudden became, and by the way, I was so hesitant to join her because I was like, the way I grew up on home fitness, I remember my mom doing like Paula Abdul workouts in the living room, and it was like the YMCA, and I'm like, that's not gonna work for me. Like, that's what I had in my head that home fitness was like. And I actually bought burned DVDs of P90X way before like this picture. And of course, when you don't pay for something and you don't invest in something, those burned DVDs, I popped in one time, I did like 5 minutes, and I'm like, peace out, this is too hard for me. And I never touched them again. But in this picture, it was my coach doing Insanity Asylum with Shaun T. And I saw her, by the way, she had a baby 3 months before me. And I saw her like coming into the office, like the weight dropping, like a pep in her step. She was happy. The bags that I was carrying under my eyes, she did not have. Like, and I just remember going into her office and being like, okay, what the heck are you doing? Whatever it is, I'm gonna do it. And it was that. It was drinking Shakeology and getting my first program in my hands. And I'll tell you, I was very hesitant for a while, but I finally gave in when I finally invested. That was the first program I did from start to finish, and that's it. Never looked back after that. I got amazing results, and I'll share here with my picture with you guys of me today. This is 8 years later, still strong in my fitness. I had another baby on top of this. Beachbody's been with me through 2 pregnancies, the second pregnancy, 2 postpartum journeys, and it's something that I have conditioned myself to doing every single day since, every single day. And I'll tell you that, for a mom that felt ruined, that felt like that's it. Like I was done at the age of 20. Like I think about that now. Now I'm 35. At the age of 20, 21, feeling like you're ruined. I can tell you that because Beachbody landed in my lap and because I took control from home, and what I feel is so important about Beachbody, guys, like this is your opportunity to do something where it puts you in complete control. When you're in control, you're empowered. When you're empowered, you are unstoppable. Nothing can stand in your way. Not a class time, not traffic, not your boss holding you back, not the kids being sick, not vacationing, nothing can stand in your way because you are in total control. And that to me is the Beachbody life. And because I had that is what allowed me to blossom into the woman that I knew was like trapped in there all along. I knew I would figure it out in motherhood. It just took a little bit longer and I had to go the long way. But I knew that it was there, and it was like clicking with Beachbody is what made it all come together. So for a woman that felt ruined, I can share with you guys now what the last 8 years has looked like. I've been able to share a stage with Autumn Calabrese, the creator of 21 Day Fix. You can see me there with her, which was like, I've shared the stage with her a couple times. She's invited me. I've done 2 infomercials. So the top one you can see, one with Tony Horton. That was like back in, I think that was in like 2013. And then I did another one for this program, Hammer and Chisel, which was with Autumn Calabrese and Sagi Kalev. So when you see those late night infomercials and you think those people are paid actors, they're not. I'm one of them. You'll see me in there along the way. On the bottom, that's when I got to work out on stage also with Sagi because of the Hammer and Chisel. And like I said, I just been like, for someone that felt like it was over, this was my dream. Like I remember doing all of this with Beachbody and thinking to myself, gosh, I wish I could be in an infomercial. I wish I could be on stage with a trainer. Another dream of mine, hopefully it'll come true soon, is I want to be in a program with a trainer. Like that's what I dream of. And I believe that it can happen one day. If you would have asked me 8 years ago, I would have been like, it's not going to happen. But I believe it can happen today because these things have happened. And it's been a wonderful trickle effect because of, again, that mom that just pushed play in her, back then I started in the living room, and from the living room we went to the garage, and then from the garage we converted the garage into an awesome home gym. So the evolution of my workout space has changed also. But it started moving my coffee table, pushing play in my living room. Another thing that I can tell you that is the confidence, it trickled big time into my marriage too. Like I told you, we were a brand new young couple. Johan and I, we're about to actually in 2 more days. No, tomorrow, the 25th. We are celebrating 17 years together. And I'm like, 17 years, you got to grow up with somebody, right? And a lot of times, just the lack of confidence in between your pareja, like with your husband or your wife, that could be detrimental to your marriage. Like I remember, just because I didn't feel good, I would ruin date nights. I would ruin times where we were supposed to go out with friends. I would ruin going shopping, things like that, because I would get angry because nothing fit the way I wanted it to. I would be, snapping at him if he looked like at another chick. And just stupid things, stupid things that come out of insecurity that started to just go away. And although I'm not the most gorgeous woman in the world, and he's always told me that I'm the most gorgeous woman in the world, to him, I felt confident. I felt like $1,000,000. It wasn't perfect, but it was my perfect. And like, that is, to me, invaluable. That is the part that is invaluable, because you don't realize the way you carry yourself, and then it carries into all the other roles that we play in life. I'll show you here too that, like I said, just simply getting dressed for a party was completely different and trickled into all areas of life. My daughter, by the way, like I told you, I had my daughter afterwards, my third baby. She's watched mom in the home gym each and every day as she's grown up. It started with her and the bouncer. So I get it when moms tell me that it's hard to work out with a newborn. I get it when they tell me it's hard to work out with the kids at the house, or when you have all these kind of things happening, but I did it. And I'll tell you, like, the bouncer was my best friend in the beginning, right? I'll bounce, get to my workout, push pause, come back and forth. Little by little, as the kids started to understand, I would tell them, okay, workout time is mommy's time. Go find your toys, go find your crayons, go watch a movie, but this time is mommy's time. And today, my kids know that workout time for mommy and daddy is like it's like brushing our teeth every single day. So it's something implemented in my life. And for me, that's a huge stinking deal. Because the pain that I went through, getting teased and bullied and all that kind of stuff growing up, like, I don't ever want my kids to have to deal with that. They're going to probably deal with it in another capacity, but in a capacity of the way they look and that confidence, like, I want to help them. I want to raise them in a world where they have purpose and they have their own identity, that they don't have to worry about like what people are saying about them. Because like I said, it's not about being perfect, but it's about working hard on yourself and having that self-discipline that creates a confidence that nobody can tear down. And same thing for the kids. Like, I just see my kids going to sports every day because we're athletic at home, because we are, we watch our nutrition at home, and we're and they have the parents that pay attention to these kinds of things. They're thriving when they go to practice and stuff like that. And so those are the things that are really important to me. And it's way more than just, feeling cute in a dress for me these days. And then the top right-hand corner you can see is that I've also built a business on this. I don't know if you guys know this. I mean, you probably do, because Michi's a coach. A lot of you guys are a coach at a discount, but there is a business opportunity behind what you're doing. I didn't know that. When I started, I didn't care to know that. I didn't want to know that. I couldn't see past my own nose. At that moment, there was no way I could help anybody else, because I needed to help myself. Like, I was pouring from an empty glass for a while. But once I filled that glass and I realized I had purpose now, and I had the ability now to pour into somebody else, that's where my business organically just took off. I never intended to be a full-time coach in my life. Like, I worked so hard to work for the law firm that I worked for. I had a very, great salary, and I just didn't. I worked so hard for that. And then when this fell into my lap and it just started organically growing, and I fell in love with it, it became a business for me. And these girls that have locked arms with me, you can see them there. You know what's so cool is the law of attraction. You can see in that photo, 2 of those girls battled diastasis recti too. 2 of those girls took off. I'll never forget taking off my shirt for the very first time working on a sports bra. Guys, I cried. It was a very sentimental moment for me. And 2 of those girls were in my garage with me the first time they ever did it. And now look at us. We're like in bikinis, like pyramids, like going all over the place like crazy women. Because there's just a confidence that nobody can tear down. And that's what I love about this. Like, that's what keeps me in this, engaged, loving what I do. And like I said, a life of purpose, which is a really big deal. So what do I got for you tonight? That's my story. That's how I got here. That's what I've been doing for the last 8 years of my life. I want to share with you some tips that I've got for you. I don't know what chapter you're on. If you are on day 1, you haven't even started yet, or you're a little bit into your program, or if you are hitting a hard time right now in whatever you're doing, right? That day you missed a couple workouts, you ate bad, you didn't drink your shake, whatever. So because so many things can go on. I want to leave you with 4 tips tonight. Number 1, expect it to be hard. This is not supposed to be easy. If it's easy, it's not challenging. If it's not challenging, it's not going to change you. And I think that as humans, sometimes we agree to do something until it gets hard. And then as soon as it gets hard, we're like, it wasn't for me. But if we come into this with a mindset like expecting it to be hard, then we can lean into that hard. And we are all built for hard, guys. And what's hard for you today, tomorrow can be easy, and you're going to have a new hard to face. So there's always new hards to face. So just expect them and lean into them. But number two, a great way to survive the hard times is to know your why. Figure out your why. And it's deeper, guys. It's deeper than fitting into a size 4 jean or 6 jean, or it's deeper than throwing on a 2-piece bathing suit. It's deeper than, feeling good in your little black dress. There's something more. And I want you, hopefully me telling my story made you go down memory lane and figure out what is really behind what I'm doing with this. What do I really want out of this? Is it to change the legacy for my family, like the future of my family and what our family, projects as healthy? Because that's a big deal for me. I told you guys. Is it that I want, do I need a group of women that I need to be a part of because I realize that I've been surrounding myself with a lot of negativity, or maybe not surrounding myself with anyone and just trying to do life alone. Life's not meant to be done alone, and you want to dive into a community and you want to be a part of something. Whatever your why is, you got to figure it out. And by the way, a why is supposed to emotionally pull you to do something, because your coach, Michi can't push you to do anything. Not Michi, not your trainer on the TV, not me, not your husband, not your mom. Nobody can push you to do something, and nobody wants to be pushed. But if you could figure out the ways to emotionally pull yourself towards something that you want, you will always be winning. You will always be winning. Even when you're tripping up and you have a setback, you're still going to be winning because you're going to know where you're heading. You're going to be looking forward. And that leads me to my next one. Be honest with yourself. If you trip up, first of all, be gentle with yourself. You're going to trip up. This is not going to be a perfect journey. I can tell you 8 years. I can show you my picture from 8 years later, and I'm, still in great shape. But there was a lot of this in those 8 years. Summertime, like I just told you guys, I know I gotta tighten up my nutrition. I know, but I've been also vacationing a lot with the kids. I've had a lot of business trips and stuff like that. So I'm honest with myself. If I'm looking in the mirror and I've put on some weight, or I tripped up and missed a shake, or I haven't been following my meal plan, or whatever the case may be, I'm saying to myself, I'm not freaking out, and I'm not saying you're a loser, you suck, you failed, you're not meant for this, or the part that hurts my feeling most is when people are like, Beachbody sucks, Beachbody doesn't work. I'm like, no, it does. You just got to do it. Be honest with yourself and just recalibrate. Like if you did screw up, no problem. Tomorrow's a new day. Shift the sails, recalibrate, and move forward. But if you finish a program and you didn't get the exact results you wanted, you got to sit down and be like, okay, where could I, and I call it I don't call it, it's Tony Robbins 2 millimeter rule, but I live by the 2 millimeter rule. It's look at whatever work you did. If you started something and finished something and you didn't get the expected outcome, look at where you could have given just 2 millimeters more. Because oftentimes 2 millimeter shifts can lead you in a completely different outcome. And just do it again. Do it again. There's no due date to this. There's no final arrival in this journey. This journey that you're embarking on is supposed to be for life. There's no end date. So when you see it that way, you also don't trip up on yourself. When you screw up or you mess up, you just, again, adjust the scales, recalibrate and keep going. But it's just being honest with ourselves, right? And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is immerse yourself into your team. By the way, you're part of a team. You don't realize it, but you have over I think our team is about 1,200 women strong, women and men, because we have men on our team too. But you have an entire tribe behind you. And even you girls that are on this call right now, I know you guys have been working closely together, more intimate setting with Michi, but you're part of something really big. Immerse yourself into it, but nobody can force you to, right? It's got to be that get comfortable with being uncomfortable in the beginning, where you force yourself to share your sweaty self. You force yourself to share your Shakeology. You force yourself to comment on everybody's pictures and just be friendly, right? But little by little, as you start to immerse yourself in that, then it becomes your home, your family, your tribe that you feel connected to. And that's what's going to keep you going on the bad days when you don't feel like it, right? When someone doesn't show up, you're going to be like, wow, Michi wasn't here today. Hope she's okay. And then you have someone reaching out. Like, the human connection in everything we do is the most powerful aspect of Beachbody, but only if you immerse yourself into it. And same thing with personal development. I'll leave you with that. I know Michi probably does that with you guys all the time, because she is a huge, when we met, she told me, she's like, I'm a student of personal development. I'm like, oh my gosh. Because for me, personal development didn't come into my life until Beachbody. I didn't realize that as hard as I'm working on my body, I have to work on my mind. Like the same way I work my bicep, I have to work my mental health, because your mind will push your body way past where your body's capable of going. Like, it really will. And they work together, because it's also motion that's going to create the emotion that you want each and every single day. So they work hand in hand. But unless you're out there giving the time to your mind as hard as you're giving it to your body, again, you're more likely to cave when things get hard. So these are kind of like the tools that you can use as you go to make it something that, again, it becomes a lifestyle, but it becomes a lifestyle in doing the uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. So that's all I got for you guys.
Thank you so much, Monica. You covered so many amazing pointers, and I'm inspired just by listening to you. And I've heard this story so many times, but it does not get boring, doesn't get old. Yes.
That's what it's been. As I was telling you guys, that's how it's been for me all 8 years. I constantly listen to stories, because that reminds me of why I'm here, what I'm doing, and so on and so forth. It gives you the fuel to your fire.
Yeah, and it's, this team is your results. First and foremost, I want to show you, because you're my coach, and then I created this. So this is an extension of you, and I would say of your why too.
Oh.
So yeah, it's very honored to have you and share your journey. Is there anybody that have any questions, anything they want to share, anything that's coming up for them, any ideas, thoughts, while we have her here?
I'm ready for anything. And by the way, if you can't think of anything now, you think of something later, you can totally message me.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the spot. It doesn't matter. I know when I'm putting on the spot, like nothing, I can't think of anything.
Hey, it's Fanny. I would like to share something with you guys. I'm Michelle's sister-in-law, and I had actually the reverse happen to me. I was always skinny, great shape, didn't really work out, and it wasn't until I started hitting my 30s that I started gaining weight. And I did my master's, and it just all shifted downhill. I hit depression. I was eating crap food, and so the funny thing you mentioned right now about, not only physical, but the mental part, I know I have to do it. I know I got to eat right, but my mentality, it's taking a longer time to get there. So, I was super excited when Michelle joined Beachbody, and I know she's phenomenal, at working out. And if Michelle is there, I'm like, you know what? I can do it. If Michelle is there, she's going to push me, and she's going to, follow up with me. I need that in my life. So that's one of the reasons why I joined Beachbody. I just got my supply today. I text her. I told her, hey, listen, I'm ready. Okay, I'm going to take the journey with you. I downloaded the app. I downloaded the workouts. I'm going to do it. So thank you, Michelle, for being so patient with me, because I know I could be, challenging at times. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Fanny. I'm very excited to have you, and honored to be able to coach you. So she's like my sister, man. I was married to her brother for 13 years. She's the sister of the father of my children.
That is so cool. I love that. Fanny, and you know what's funny? My sister, that's her story. So when we were growing up, I was always La Gordita, and she was La Flaquita. They would call her La Flaquita with her legs that look like rana, like frog legs, they used to call her. And when we got older and I got a hold of fitness, I obviously got fit. And Veronica actually had trouble as an adult. She was always skinny all her life. And then once she started having kids, she didn't know how to handle it or how to take care. And now my sister also is, for the last 4 years, same thing as you, Fanny. So don't feel bad. It took my sister 4 years to join me. But 4 years ago, she started, and then you should see her now. She's a bombshell now. So she got it together. So you guys are a power partnership there.
Yeah, her sister is another one who has an extremely powerful story. She just retired as a teacher, and it was when I heard her out, I'm like, oh my God.
We got so much for you guys to share.
Yeah, thank you, Fanny. Anybody else? Any questions? Anything else anything that's in your heart that you want to share? Christy, did you get the ticket for Saturday?
You're gonna be there. It's gonna be epic.
Monica's gonna be there. Yeah,
I'm gonna be there, but it's not even about me. Autumn Calabrese is gonna be there. We're gonna do a live workout with her, and I just heard now that the videos that they're sharing, like the stuff they're sharing, is like incredible. You guys gotta be there. You guys have to be there. It's gonna be so good. This is the first time we've ever hosted an event like this.
So guys, I'm going to be out of town. I'm leaving Friday morning overseas to Greece, and I can't make it on Saturday, but I encourage anybody, all of you, to go. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You get there, you tap me on the shoulder, and you say, I'm Michi's coach. And I'll be like, I know, let's go. And I'll help you out. Don't worry about it. So I'm a stand-in for Michi for sure. But it's definitely going to be an epic one, guys.
Yeah, no doubt it will. I'll be there in spirit.
We're going to miss you.
Yeah. I'll be there in spirit with the pictures and everything.
Yeah, but you're going on an epic lifetime. That's like a trip of a lifetime. So you go.
Yeah.
You do your thing.
Definitely. All right, ladies. So nobody has any more questions or anything they want to share. Again, I want to thank you, Monica. I want to honor your time and everybody's time and I want to acknowledge everybody for making it into the call.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Awesome turnout. I love it.
Awesome. All right, Monica, let's do a little selfie.
Oh, yes. You take it,
and all right, I got it.
All right, send it to me, guys. Have a great night. Have a blessed night.
Bye. Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Bye.